So this might come as a surprise to you, but we have seen a massive uptick in buyer activity here in the Treasure Valley over the past month. So in this video, I want to talk about what the situation is actually like here right now in the Boise real estate market, and then talk about what has led to this and where we might be headed in the coming months and perhaps on down through the rest of the year. So I have some clients right now who are in the market for a $400,000 house. A couple weeks ago, they found a house that they liked, and so we put in an offer on it. It was a full price offer. The agent called me up the next day though and said, hey, sorry, but we actually ended up getting 4 other offers, and ultimately the sellers ended up going with another offer. So that one ended up getting away. The next day, or a couple days later, actually, my clients found another house that they liked. We said, okay, let's be aggressive on this one. They really like this one. So we put in an offer $20,000 over the list price. Agent calls me up the next day, says, hey, we got 9 offers total. Do you want to try and increase your offer to try and beat out all the rest of them? Ultimately, my buyers decided against that. It was a bit too high for them. So house number 2 ended up getting away with 9 other competitors. House number 3, they found a few days later. They said, okay, let's put in an offer on this one. This was kind of late in the evenings. I said, okay, first thing in the morning, that'll be the first item on my list to do. Woke up the next morning, turned on my computer, the house is already pending. So that house sold in 1 day, didn't even get a write-in offer on that one. House number 4 was listed too high. Based on the comps that I found, I couldn't find other comparables that matched that price. So we put in a reasonable offer, one that I think would match the appraisal that would come in. The agent didn't even respond to this offer. The agent just said, you know what, we're not even gonna counter. We don't want your offer. So that house ended up getting away as well. House number 5, a few days later, had 8 offers on it, but my client said, hey, we want to be really aggressive on this one. So we put in an offer, $24,000 over asking, 3-week close with the option to close in 2 weeks, 3-day inspection. Haven't heard back on that one. Supposed to hear back in the next day or 2. So the competition has been really fierce here in the $400,000 range here in the Treasure Valley. On the other side of the equation, a couple weeks ago, I listed a house. It sold over the weekend for full price. I met with an inspector last week who told me that this past January was the busiest January for him out of the past 4 or 5 years. A lender told me just this week, I had lunch with a lender, and he said, yeah, a lot of my clients who are trying to get mortgages are facing multiple offers on the homes that they're trying to buy. And I had another lender tell me the same thing last week. So definitely we're seeing a definite increase in buyer activity here in the Treasure Valley. And I think this raises the question, why? What has led to this, especially given the fact that we have seen a slowdown in the market over the past 8 months? Well, I think there's actually 3 contributing factors to this increase in activity that we've been seeing over the past month or so here in Boise. Number 1, the interest rate has actually been ticking down slowly over the past couple months. Believe it or not, the collapse of the Silicon Valley Bank was actually really good for the housing market. The day that the Silicon Valley Bank crashed, the interest rate for mortgages went down about 0.5 percentage point. And that's directly related to speculation. Prior to the collapse of the Silicon Valley Bank, the general sense in the market was that the Fed was going to raise the target interest rate by another 50 basis points. Once the bank collapsed, the Fed sort of realized, oh, maybe we're turning up the heat just a bit too much. And so the sense in the market was that the Fed is going to slow down their interest rate hikes over the coming months, so that ended up being good news for the housing market. Number 2, and most important, we've seen a lot less inventory on the market over the past month or so. And look at these numbers here. Just this past month, in February of 2023, we had 1,039 homes listed. So about 1,000 homes on the market, with a total number of 600 homes sold. So the sold to listing ratio is actually was quite high this past month. Look at where that number was 4 or 5 months ago. Back in July and August of last year, we had 2,400 listings, or in August, 2,300 listings, September, 2,400 listings. So our inventory has steadily been coming down. The month supply of inventory was at about 3 months at its peak. That was back in July or September of last year. That number is now cut in half. We have 1.5 months supply of inventory right now on the market. And that's for both existing and new construction. For existing homes, that number is even less. We only have 1 month supply of inventory, meaning if no homes were listed today, it would take only 1 month to sell all of the homes that are currently on the market right now. And that really is the key reason why we've seen such an uptick in competition here in the Treasure Valley over the past month. We just don't have the inventory that we need to meet the demand. And that leads me to my third point, and that is that it's the spring. The third reason why we've seen the increase in competition is that it's the spring season. There tends to be more buyers in the spring. Spring tends to be the busiest time of the year. That's because buyers want to get to their new location by the beginning of summer. And that's exactly what we've been seeing this year as well. So an increase in buyers coupled with a lack of inventory leads to the competition that we've seen here over the past month. So where does all of this lead us? Somebody commented on my YouTube channel a little while ago. They said that they think that the Boise housing market is going to drop 50% in the coming months or the coming year or so. Okay. That person has the right to believe that. That's what I love about America. You can have your opinion. I can have my opinion. I don't think that that is going to happen at all. And why do I think that? Well, first of all, let's think about what it is that actually sets prices in real estate. It's the supply and the demand that sets the prices for real estate. If you have a large supply of homes but very low demand in a particular area, it doesn't matter how much homes cost to actually build. Houses will be cheaper there because there's less people who actually want to live there. And the reverse is true as well. If you have a large demand, a lot of people want to live in a particular area, but there's very few homes there. Doesn't matter how expensive it is to build a house, what labor costs are. House prices are going to be elevated in that area because there's a large demand, but a low supply. So overall, we've seen a pretty significant decrease in listings here in the Treasure Valley. We've seen about a 57% decrease over the past 5 months. So here's what I think is going to happen over the next coming months and throughout the rest of the year. Now, again, I don't know the future, so I don't know if this is exactly how it'll happen, but this is my best guess. I think we'll go into a recession this summer. And once that happens, the Fed will stop raising the interest rate. Right now, I think the outlook is that the Fed will have one more interest rate hike of 25 basis points. And then after that, they'll pump the brakes. So once they stop raising the short-term interest rate, the rate at which banks loan money one to the other, the mortgage rates will begin to start inching back down. Once that happens, we'll get more buyers jump into the buying market. That's because the demand is still there. There still are people who want to buy homes. And because we have such a low supply of homes on the market, the prices will begin to go back up again. Now, I think the gains are going to be much more modest than what we've seen over the past several years. My guess is that we'll see house prices go up anywhere between 2 to 4% in the coming years. Hey, thanks again for watching. If you have any questions about real estate or life here in Idaho, please reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to chat with you.